How to conduct your product research on Amazon effectively. In this video, we will go over the old system for product research on Amazon that you most likely have seen in the past, why it's obsolete, and explore which approach is recommended by leading business experts to give your own Amazon business the maximum chance of success. Welcome to The Modern Sellers. If this is your first time on this channel, my name is Martin and I'm a full-time Amazon e-commerce manager. And I've built this channel in my spare time to help individual Amazon sellers create a successful online business that will ultimately give them financial freedom. So if that's your case, welcome, and I hope this video is useful to you. Don't hassle yourself with taking any notes. I've put a link in the description box below to a downloadable summary of the video, which you can download within a minute. Before this video begins, I want to give a quick disclaimer. This video isn't going to be a linear step-by-step tutorial on which keyword research software to use, which buttons to click, and so on. There are plenty of videos out there that do give out a step-by-step instructions for product research with the latest tools and updates, and they're really good. My objective with this video is to educate on the broader context of the Amazon product research process so you can understand what makes a good product research system that gives your Amazon business the maximum chance of growing and giving you what you want. So number one, the old system doesn't work anymore, and here's why. If you look online at how to conduct a product research on Amazon, you will find many videos and articles which show you the same process. Number one, find a good tool that scans Amazon keywords for search volume and ratings. 2. Look at the search results, listing quality, review count, ratings, and price of the top results. Note down the keywords with relatively high search volume with poor listings as top results. And 3. Look up suppliers, often Chinese, and calculate if you can sell the same thing at a lower price point while still making a profit. Now, while this worked back in 2014, this isn't going to work today and isn't going to work in the future. Why? Because anyone can do this kind of research. Whatever you will find that seems to be a good opportunity, someone else will have seen it or will see it very soon. And it's not a question of if, but when. And with programs becoming exponentially better at processing big data, it becomes easier and faster for literally anyone to find hidden opportunities. We can compare this to the history of the West discovering the world. In the 1600s, most of the world was still undiscovered to the Western civilizations. Heck, even the Americas were a wild place that were mostly uncharted. And fast forward just a few hundred years, and now we have satellites that can literally find buried houses under the dense jungle of the Amazon. And yeah, I mean the actual Amazon jungle. And it's the same story on Amazon. Now I mean the e-commerce platform. Go back a few years, you didn't have the mass of AI-driven programs that are able to scan for product opportunities better than any human can. At least if we're talking only about data-based opportunities, such as low search volume, ratings, and so on. Even if someone finds it soon, I should have the upper hand if I start selling first, right? Well, here's where we have to think about competitive advantage. If your strategy is to find a product with an opportunity that anyone can use, say offering a lower price, putting up some slightly better generic pictures, or going from crap reviews to standard reviews, well, then anyone can and eventually someone will do it for cheaper. It's just a matter of using a program and find a cheap supplier. You'll find someone who will do the exact same and be able to live off a lower margin. So long story short, you can't rely on this method anymore. Right, so what's the right approach? How do you find products that you will be able to sell for a long time without having to wake up every morning wondering if someone's put a listing that's likely to put you out of business in a couple of weeks? Let's look at that right now. The approach that you need: adding value and competitive advantage. In order to ensure that your business will survive, it needs to provide value to your customers that will not be easy for your competition to reproduce. Let's deconstruct this a little bit. Number one, providing value. First, providing something of value. What does that mean? Value is the reason why your customers buy from you, or from anyone, in fact. A valuable product is a product that fulfills a customer's unmet needs. A toothbrush is valuable insofar that it helps you keep your teeth clean. A teapot is valuable if you want to have something to hold your tea and keep it hot. Well, I think you get the idea here. If a product isn't perceived by your customers as valuable, and I must really emphasize perceived by your customers here, then it will not sell. Simple as that. You wouldn't sell a rock, would you? No, because it's got zero perceived value to almost everybody. Well, I mean, you had the pet rock fad, which shows you how much customer perception can be manipulated, but I think you get my point here. Now, the rock example might be extreme, but you'd be surprised how many businesses failed throughout history just because they failed to judge if a product could be perceived as valuable to anyone. Okay, we're clear about what value is. Let's take this concept a little bit further. Make sure that your business sells product that can be perceived in some way as more valuable than your direct competition. Let's take an example. You might have 1 million searches for sports shoes and think, well, I should start selling sports shoes. Everyone needs shoes, right? But if your product is not perceived by your target customers as adding any extra value over the existing competition, and there's loads of it in this case, Nike, Adidas, Puma, heck, I don't know, I wear barefoot shoes, but then there's no reason to try to sell those products. Now, added value comes in many different flavors. It can be that you're offering a product at a lower price, has different colors, different materials, slightly different features. There's loads of possibilities here. But the key thing is that it must be an attribute that the customer values. In this case, you'd want to offer sports shoes with at least one aspect or feature that customers perceive as valuable that other competitors like Nike, Adidas and the like do not offer. I mean, good luck with that. But this brings us to the second part, offering something of value that your competitors cannot offer. This is commonly referred as a competitive advantage. So a competitive advantage is defined as a condition or circumstance that puts a company in a favorable or superior business position. Now, there are many different things that can be competitive advantages. For example, Amazon's ability to deliver a selection of millions of products overnight with its Prime system is considered a competitive advantage. I won't extend too much on competitive advantage in this video, but I'll go into more detail in a future video. However, one critical concept that's closely related to competitive advantages that I really want to cover in this video, if you want to conduct successful product research, is the concept of core competency. First of all, what is core competency? A core competency is defined by C. Prahalad and Gary Hamel as a harmonized combination of multiple resources and skills that distinguish a firm in the marketplace. So core competencies fulfill 3 criteria. Number 1, it provides potential access to a wide variety of markets. 2, should make a significant contribution to the perceived customer benefits of the end product. And 3, is difficult to imitate by competitors. Having core competencies in your business means that you will be able to derive a competitive advantage for the products that can benefit from these core competencies. Okay, let's look at a practical example of how this would look like on Amazon. Let's say that you love barbecuing. You've been into it ever since you first saw your dad as a toddler flip some tasty, sizzling burgers in your backyard with your friends and family. You've been doing it almost every Sunday during the summer for years. You know exactly how to best set it up, how to avoid getting food burnt, and you mastered the art of socializing while ensuring everyone gets their patty exactly how they want it. So in this case, your core competencies could be the years of experience in barbecuing, the ability to learn new knowledge related to your exciting hobby, for example, new kinds of tools and utensils, new barbecue grills, different kinds of wood and coal, as well as the ability to easily and quickly test out new barbecuing ideas. Basically, you can work on research and development better than your competitors who have never even touched a barbecue before. This can then be translated into competitive advantages. For example, having a website dedicated to barbecue tools and techniques, reviews, tips and so on. Or great barbecue pictures that look real and genuine and not stock photos. Because unlike your competitors in smoggy Shenzhen, you have a great looking garden, a real barbecue set, and real looking friends with whom you can take some awesome shots and videos. Whoever will then view your listing will know that you're the real thing, and this translates into a stronger brand and increased perceived expertise and thus quality. As mentioned before, you'd want to make sure that this would be perceived as valuable by your customers. For instance, by looking at reviews, websites about barbecuing, forums, social media, and so on. And guess what? That could be too much boring work that's not worth the effort to your competitors. Or maybe they wouldn't do it, but they wouldn't really get the customer. But to a barbecue fanatic like you, it could be an actual pleasure to spend a weekend reading up on barbecue opinions and unmet needs, along with sharing your expertise and knowledge about a topic that you're really passionate about. Here, it's all about adding value to your customers. And if you have this knowledge, it's a competitive advantage that you can leverage. Maybe your competitors will still be making more sales than you because they just offer the same barbecue products at a much lower price, sure. But then again, you don't need to be better than them on all aspects. You just need to be good enough to enough customers to meet your business objectives so that you can have a business that first survives and then thrives, then gives you the financial freedom that you want. This was one example of a competitive advantage that you can use for product research. Again, competitive advantages come in many different forms, some of which I haven't explained. It's up to you to use both your knowledge and also your imagination to find out how you can make some people's lives better in a way that only you can do best. Once you know that your idea is valuable, search for, and competitors are not fulfilling it or leaving some space for improvement that you can fulfill in a way that would be hard for them to copy, we're much more likely to have a successful product research. This is the end of this week's video. I hope that you found it useful and that it allowed you to have a clear idea of the framework in which you should construct your product research to increase your chances of finding a product that's really going to set your Amazon business up for success. Don't forget that you can download the notes pack from the description box below. This can be useful if you want to refresh your mind about these ideas later on. In the next video, I will be talking about market analysis for product research. We will cover the main ways for you to analyze a product market to make sure that it's not only valuable and you can develop competitive advantages, but that it's also viable for long-term sales. So if this is of interest to you, I recommend that you subscribe and you enable the notification bell so you can basically know straight away when it comes out, and then you can apply this humble advice straight away. On that note, I wish you a good week and let's keep selling.